For more now, I'm joined by journalist Andrew Finkel, who campaigns for press freedom here in Turkey. Andrew, thanks so much for joining us. First, let me get your initial reaction to these sentences.
Well, of course, it was, first we seemed very pleased. The judge acquitted Mr. Dundar, Mr. Gül on most of the charges. And then there was a shock at the end where he said that, yes, both men would be serving 5 years in prison for revealing state secrets. And of course, this seems to us monstrous. It's hard to believe that he could have given such a verdict.
Now, Andrew, Can Dündar has said repeatedly that this trial was about creating an atmosphere of fear for journalists working in Turkey. Do you think he's right?
Well, given the verdict, it's hard to disagree with that. I mean, you have to remember the context of this, that Mr. Dundar and Mr. Gül were in prison on these charges, and the Constitutional Court of Turkey ruled that they should be let free. Why should they be let free? Because they were not guilty of any crime, so they were simply practicing journalism. So it's not my opinion, but the opinion of the highest court of the land in Turkey, that these men were certainly just doing their job. So to prevent them from doing their job by finding them guilty of revealing state secrets is clearly A, a defiance of the higher court, and B, an attempt to intimidate them from performing as journalists and preventing other journalists from doing their work. It's a shot across the bows.
Andrew, the United States pursued Edward Snowden, Glenn Greenwald, and other democratic nations have gone after journalists when they believe national security has been compromised. Is it different in Turkey, and particularly in the case of Dundar and Gül here?
Well, as I said, it's not my opinion that they didn't violate those standards. It's the opinion of the highest court of in the land that they didn't do so. But let's look exactly at what happened. The Cumhuriyet, the newspaper of which Dundar edits, revealed this story, but they were not the first people to do so. Much of the information which had been on that front page story had appeared in other newspapers. So to convict them of revealing state secrets by allowing what was already in the public realm to be printed on their paper doesn't make perfectly good sense. Plus, the people that you've cited who've been gone after have not been people who have published the news. It's been people who have leaked the news. So, the New York Times published the Pentagon Papers. The New York Times, The Guardian, Der Spiegel published the WikiLeaks, and they've won awards for this. So it's the actual publication of information in the public realm, or information which the government deems to be secret, is not an offense. It's the actual leaking of state secrets. And no one says that Mr. Gül, that these two journalists actually leaked what was already in the public realm. It wasn't, they simply did their jobs as journalists.
Okay. Andrew Finkel, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us on TRT World.